Well, good afternoon. I'm Bill Roller. I'm here in with at Beacon Rock Wealth Advisors. We have Mike Elrath walking the aisles of Lowe's, working on a construction project, and Michael Harding also also in his office, being stable, but with our weekly insight into financial markets and Clark County real estate. I'll go first. Um, And so, kind of an interesting week. Dow was up 1.21%. The Nasdaq Composite up 1.12%, and the S&P 500 up 1.11%. So all pretty close. Kind of as you say, a tight shot group. The 30-year Treasury though was up 11.6% to 4.383, and the 10-year was up 9.2 basis points to an annual yield of 4.073. The interesting thing in the markets this week was, of course, the impact of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, um, which probably represents why Michael Elerath is at Lowe's, using that as a big backdrop for for his insights.
Yeah, they're going to be shipping a lot of stuff to Florida.
Yes. China was the big play last week, and it was kind of a definitely a short play this week. Market got disappointed on Monday, Tuesday, when the Chinese financial authorities said, well, didn't say anything about additional stimulus. So things kind of sold off pretty hard there. I had a fair number of, I had some China trades on and immediately dropped them. Kind of glad I did. Saw an article today that one hedge fund went from basically 1% long or 1x long to 1.4x short on the Chinese market. So it was a very volatile week there. They're supposed to do more insight on further stimulus on Saturday. Maybe they want to do that when the markets are closed, and we'll get more insight then. So when it's always better off to buy when things are quiet and sell when things are very volatile, and hope you make money in the meantime. But Michael Elrath, tell us about what your travels are right now.
Well, I'm getting some hardware and finishing up on remodeling a house. Last week we talked about um, October 9, John Lennon's birthday, and October 10, Elon Musk's reveal of the robo taxi. Now, I missed it, so I'll ask if you fellas know anything about that. And also, there's a lot of news about Musk um, and Starlink helping people in the hurricane zones. Um, some of the reports made him out like Superman, coming to the rescue. And I don't have the detail on it, but if that's true, that's pretty fascinating to me. Any news on those
Well,
um,
yeah,
from you?
yeah. From what I saw, the the technology that that Elon Musk demonstrated was impressive. Mainly a coupe with no steering wheel or pedals, the robo taxi, humanoid type robots who were serving drinks, and a bus or truck kind of substitute. So it laid out a pretty good path for products in the future. But the consensus among analysts seemed to be, yeah, it looks great. Plenty of vaporware. Um, no specifics on how they're going to get there. I saw one positive thing that said, yeah, it was pretty great. He's laid out a product map for basically the next 10 years. But the problem is, he also said that self-driving was going to be happening next year. And he's been saying that for about 5 continuous years. So there's sort of the concern about the vaporware.
Kind of like which next year, huh?
Which next year? It keeps being next year, and next year it'll be next year. So that's kind of the concern. That
Yeah.
he's got kind of in the put up and shut up mode. Of course, there's also the concern about the other organizations that Elon Musk is running. Um, you've got Starlink, of course, doing very well. You've got SpaceX. You've now got him basically offering to help out the U.S. government. So there's always concern among analysts that he's spreading himself very thin. Um, you know, he's one overworked heart attack away from you know markets taking a being vicious to his companies, I guess is one way of putting it.
Yeah, well, the other thing is we need to find out who he delegates things to because he's got to have a lot of support to get things done.
Well, that's right. I mean, in any kind of organization like that, who you've got number two and who you're getting as the best people to help you run it
Yeah,
is pretty important.
yeah.
Uh, but Michael Harding, what do you want to say about real estate?
Well, before I begin on that, I recently read that Elon Musk is offering free Starlink internet services to those impacted by the hurricane for 30 days. And from what
Yes.
I understand, that is something that he can extend. Because just because you have internet for 30 days doesn't mean that your infrastructure will be in place in 30 days. It may take a little bit longer. Some people in Louisiana are still trying to recover from Katrina, which I assure you has been longer than 30 days.
It's
And so
been
it's
a
a nice
few
gesture, but
years.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice gesture, but hopefully it's something that can be extended, especially as FEMA decides whether or not it has enough money and the support gets to the individuals that need it in those remote areas, not just necessarily in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area and beyond. So Bill, do you have the spreadsheet?
Yeah, yes, sir. We certainly do. We have technology. We have one of everything. One sec. There you go.
I was absent. I was busy spending time with my wife on the road, and so the week of September 21st through the 27th, it was an unremarkable week. There was a little bit of a gain from the previous week in terms of the list price average and the sold price average. Uh, but if I remember correctly, this primarily to the size of the home because if you notice the week of the 14th through the 20th, the average list price per square foot was 304, and then on the week of the 21st through the 27th, it was 299. So it was greater the week before, but so that to me that's indicative of the square footage of the homes being greater. Uh, yeah.
There you go. Okay.
So um, and then last week it was pretty much the same thing. It was square footage that altered the price of the list price and the sold price evaluation. So we are seemingly in a pretty safe spot. But what I'd like to bring to everyone's attention is the highlighted portion in yellow. Those are the average for the third quarter. We seem to have made gains on every major category in terms of the price. The list price has increased. If my math is correct, hold on, let me take off my shoe. That's what, 18,000 from the second quarter to the third quarter. And the list price, we
Yes.
went from 615,359 to 300, I'm sorry, 633,857. So that's roughly, again, if my fuzzy math is correct, that's a difference of 18,000. And then the sold price is went up 15,000. So that's pretty good in terms of the valuation and keeping track of that. So I think the market overall is still in pretty good hands. Although, for some reason I got a little nervous feeling in the pit of my stomach that things aren't all that great, but they're not all that bad.
Um, Yeah, that's kind of what we want actually is that's kind of the perfect economy. Not great, but not bad.
Yeah,
Sustainable growth.
right, right, yeah, yeah. I think the reason why I feel that way is because there hasn't been a huge uptick in activity um, since the Feds lowered the rate. And I know it takes some time for it to hit, but you would think that we would see more activity because when was that meeting? The meeting was 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yes.
And so, you would think that families would be out there trying to take advantage of that, but it just hasn't been reflected in the numbers that we have. So who knows? Who knows? But
Yeah,
again,
yeah. Well,
we
in the
should be
Northwest,
safe.
after summer's over, um, those families also kind of, retreat a little bit from um, purchasing activity. Um, so, it's a seasonal thing could affect it a little bit, but the prices still are still firm, so that's really good.
Yeah, that's an encouraging sign to me is that we still have an increase in valuation.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff, sure. Um, Not sure what we got on the thing for next week. Got, the usual earnings coming out and all that other stuff. Um, will obviously be interesting, like I said, seeing what China has in store in terms of their stuff on whether they're going to continue with their stimulus on Saturday and how that will affect the market. Um, Definitely saw a case where um, money seemed to be flowing to China and out of the U.S. market, and then that flow suddenly reversed. So that could be interesting.
There was a little uptick in inflation too, so
For the CPI,
Yeah,
yeah,
producer price index came in.
yeah. And just a tenth of, well, it was 0.2% above expectation. Expectation was that it would decline by 1 basis point, and instead it increased by 1 basis point. Is that right, Bill? So that's 2 basis points above the expectation.
Yeah, seems about right. I don't remember the story. I remember
Yeah.
being close there. One reminder is that the stock market's closed on Monday, Columbus Day.
Oh, okay.
Or
3-day
sorry,
weekend.
I take that back. Monday is Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. I believe the stock market is open, but the bond market will be closed. So it'll be basically a flat day in the market
Yeah.
since it'll be a
So,
it'll be a federal holiday, but not a stock market holiday.
and back to that 10-year treasury rate of almost 4.4%. Is that what you said, Bill?
The 30 years at 4.383, and the
Yeah.
10
Okay.
years at 4.073.
Oh, okay. Okay. 10 years a little lower.
Yeah.
All right. But the 30 years a little higher. So, um, mortgage rates didn't decrease. Mortgage rates just stayed level, didn't they?
Let
I
me
believe that
check.
I believe they were kind of flat.
Yeah, they
You
were
know,
flat
and
last week. Let's see what Freddie Mac says they did today or
while you're
yesterday.
looking, I was going to do some research. We got prices have gone up, or, you know, businesses are still adjusting prices up. Insurance is a huge cost factor now
Yes.
to everybody. Um, and I'm thinking I'm going to do some research if I get around to it. If I don't, I don't. I don't sell a whole lot of term insurance, but I think term insurance might be one of the only financial assets or, things that consumers need that hasn't gone up in price with, with all the inflation.
Yeah. Supply and demand. In terms of interest rates, they did make a big move, actually. The 30-year fixed mortgage went to 6.32, up from 6.12% last week.
Okay.
And the 15-year went to 5.41, up from 5.25.
So those are like in following the 30 year and kind of a interpolation between the 10 and 30 year on that 15-year rate.
Right. Um, Obviously more risk than in treasuries, but it said release of a stronger than expected September jobs report. The 30 years saw the largest 1 week increase since April.
Yeah,
So it could be also, more risk in the mortgage pool.
right.
Well, I got on the Freddie Mac website and it said that it is 3.2 up from I'm sorry, 6.32 up from last week when it was 6.12, but a year ago it was 7.57. So that's great news in terms of the direction of the interest rate. So hopefully uh, they'll continue to come back down to a lower level so that more families can afford a home,
Yeah, if this stuff went straight down, this job would be easy, right?
Yeah.
right?
And like every consumer knows, it's not what you did for me last year, it's what have you done for me recently. So
Yeah.
so anything you gentlemen would like to add? Not, we'll let Mr.
No, stay
Elrath.
Those are my
diversified, just
Yep,
stay busy, stay diversified, and don't never give up.
have fun. Let me put
and
you
All
on.
give
right.
Beacon Rock a call.
That's right. And give Michael Harding at Keller Williams if you need to get out of town fast. He'll get your house sold.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Good one. All right, guys. Have a good 3 day
All right,
weekend.
gentlemen.
Well,
Bye bye.
2.5.
Yeah.
No mail Monday.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.